Greetings! Manta79 here, and welcome back to another deck profile video for Cardfight Vanguard Deer Days! Alrighty, let's get started. Pressing the A button now. Loading game and proceeding. Here we are in the main menu, going to edit deck menu. And now in today's video, the deck profile I'm going to be making one for is a Dragon Empire's Dragonic Kaiser Vermillion D-BT11. Alrighty, let's get started. Selecting the deck, entering edit deck, and off we go. Here we are in the edit deck menu, and like I just mentioned before, the deck I'm building today's deck profile video is a Dragon Empire's Dragonic Kaiser Vermillion deck with cards made up until D-BT11. Okie dokie, let's get started. Selecting the filter settings, going to pack, showing the cards from D-BT1, Genesis of the 5 Greats, D-BT2, Brush of the Legends, D-BT3, Advance of Intertwined Stars, D-BT4, Awakening of Chakrabarti, D-BT5, Triumphant Return of Brave Heroes, Festival Booster 2021, Festival Booster 2022, Promo Pack number 1, D-BT6, Blazing Dragon Reborn, D-BT7, Raging Flame Against Emerald Storm, D-BT8, Minerva Rising, D-BT9, Dragon Tree Invasion, D-BT10, Dragon Masquerade, Festival Booster 2023, and D-BT11, Clash of the Heroes. Applying filter, filters applied, let's get started. First up, the Ride deck. And now for the Ride deck. For the cards in this Ride deck, we have the Grade 3 Dragonic Kaiser Vermillion. Skills: first skill, action as a Vanguard, once per turn. Cost: Counterblast 1. If the cost in paid, choose 2 of your units, and with only Nara coming for their clan, and they get plus 5,000 power until end of turn. Until end of turn, when this card would attack, choose 2 of your opponent's rear guards, and this unit battles all of the units on the chosen rear guards and your opponent's Vanguard. Second skill, auto as a Vanguard, once per turn. At the end of the battle, this unit attacks. If you play a normal order this turn, if your opponent's damage zone has 4 or less cards, cost, discard a card from hand. If the cost in paid, choose one of your opponent's Vanguards and deal 1 damage. Alright, the Grade 3 Dragonic Kaiser Vermillion. We have 1 in the Ride deck, 3 in the main deck. Up next, the Grade 2 Thunderstorm Dragoon. Skills: first skill, auto. When this unit is rode upon by a Grade 3 card of only Nara coming for its clan, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 card of only Nara coming for its clan, or up to 1 Eternal Thunderbolt from among them, reveal it, put into hand, and shuffle your deck. Second skill, auto. When this unit will be placed on rearguard circle, if you have a Vanguard of only Nara coming for its clan, Soul Charge 1. And this unit gets plus 5,000 power until end of turn. Okie dokie, the Grade 2 Thunderstorm Dragoon. We have 1 in the Ride deck, 2 in the main deck. Up next, the Grade 1 Red River Dragoon. Skills: first skill, auto. When this unit is rode upon by a Grade 2 card of only Nara coming for its clan, search your deck for up to 1 Eternal Thunderbolt, reveal it, put it into hand, and shuffle your deck. Second skill, auto as a rear guard. When this unit boosts, if you have a Grade 3 or greater Vanguard of only Nara coming for its clan, cost: Counterblast 1. If the cost in paid, choose 1 of your opponent's back row rear guards and bind it. If you do not bind a card, you may Soul Charge 2. Affirmative, the Grade 1 Red River Dragoon. We have 1 in the Ride deck, 2 in the main deck. Up next, the Grade 0 Spark Kit Dragoon. Starting unit. Skill: auto. When this unit is rode upon, if you went second, draw a card. Confirm, the Grade 0 Spark Kit Dragoon. We have 1 in the deck. And with that, we've covered the deck's Ride deck. Next, let's get on to the Grade 3 lineup. And now for the Grade 3 lineup. For the Grade 3s in this deck, we are playing Grade 3 Normal Order Eternal Thunderbolt. Skill: order. This card can be played from drop, and play this card if you have a Vanguard of Vermillion in its card name and have only Nara coming for its clan. Choose one of your Vanguards, and until end of turn, it gets Continuous as a Vanguard. When your opponent's rear guard is hit by this unit and it will be retired from rear guard, bind it instead of retiring, and Continuous as a Vanguard. If your opponent has no rear guards, all of your front row rear guards gets plus 5,000 power. If you played this card from drop, bind this card. And alright, the Grade 3 Normal Order Eternal Thunderbolt. We have 3 in the deck. Up next, the Grade 3 Normal Order Gradia Gradel. Skills: first skill, Continuous Regulus. You may only have 1 Regulus piece in your deck and use it a total of 1 time in a fight. Second skill, Order. Play this if you have a grade 3 Vanguard Persona Ride and do not ride this turn. Activate Persona Ride. Draw a card. All front units gets plus 10,000 power this turn, and you're regarded to Persona Road. Okie dokie, the grade 3 Grania Gradel. We have 1 in the deck. And of that, we've covered the deck's grade 3 lineup. Next, let's get on to the grade 2 lineup. And now for the grade 2 lineup. For the grade 2s in this deck, we have the grade 2 Dragonic Latifa. Skills, first skill, Auto. When this card is placed on the rear guard other than by a unit's card ability, if you play a normal order this turn, cost Soul Blast 1. If the cost and pay, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 card of grade less than or equal to your Vanguard from among them, reveal it, call it to rear guard if it is a unit card, put it into hand if it is a normal order, and shuffle your deck. Second skill, Auto is a rear guard. When this unit attacks a grade 3 or greater unit, this unit gets plus 5,000 power until end of battle for each of your opponent's open rear guard circles in the same column as this unit. Alrighty, the grade 2 Dragonic Latifa, we have 4 in the deck. Next, the grade 2 Dragonic Death Scythe. Skills, first skill, continuous as a rear guard. During your turn, if your opponent has no front row rear guards, this unit gets plus 5,000 power. Second skill, Auto as a rear guard. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard of only Narukami for its clan, cost Soul Blast 2. If the cost and pay, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and bind it. If you do not bind a card, you may draw a card. Okie dokie, the grade 2 Dragonic Death Scythe, we have 4 in the deck. And of that, we've covered the deck's grade 2 lineup. Next, let's get on to the grade 1 lineup. And now for the grade 1 lineup. For the grade 1s in this deck, we are playing the grade 1 Stealth Dragon Togachi Rashi. Skill, Auto. When this card is discarded from hand during your turn, you may put this card into Soul. Alright, the grade 1 Stealth Dragon Togachi Rashi, we have 3 in the deck. Up next, the grade 1 Sparkle Projector Dragon Sentinel Perfect Guard. Skills, first skill, Continuous Sentinel. You may only have up to 4 cards of Continuous Sentinel in the deck. Second skill, Auto. When this unit is put in the Guardian Circle, choose one of your units, and it cannot be hit until end of battle. If your hand has 2 or more cards, choose a card from hand and discard it. Okie dokie, the grade 1 Sparkle Projector Dragon. We have 3 in the deck. Next up, the grade 1 Blitz Order Elementaris Sanctitude. Skills, first skill, Continuous Sentinel. You may only have up to 4 cards of Continuous Sentinel in the deck. Second skill, Continuous. You may only have 1 Elementaris Sanctitude in the deck. Third skill, Order. If your opponent's Vanguard has triple drive, this ability can be played without paying the cost. Plays with a cost of, discard a card from hand. If your Vanguard is grade 3 or less. If the cost and paid, choose one of your units, and it cannot be hit until end of battle. Remove this card. Affirmative, the grade 1 Elementaris Sanctitude. We have 1 in the deck. And next, the grade 1 Rising Phoenix. Skills, first skill, Auto from the drop zone. When any card is bound during your turn by your card effect, if you have a Vanguard of only Narukami for its clan, cost Soul Blast 1. If the cost and paid, call this card to rearguard circle. Second skill, Action as a rear guard. Cost, retire this unit. If the cost and paid, choose one of your units and it gets plus 5,000 power until end of turn. And alright, the grade 1 Rising Phoenix, we have 4 in the deck. And of that, we've covered the deck's grade 1 lineup. Next, let's get on to the grade 0 lineup. And now for the trigger lineup. For the triggers in this deck, we are playing the grade 0 Dragon D-BT King of Resurgence Dragvita Overtrigger. Skill, trigger, additional effect. Choose one of your Vanguards and it can restand it. Alright, the grade 0 Dragon D-BT King of Resurgence Dragvita Overtrigger, we have 1 in the deck. Next, the grade 0 Conduct Spark Dragon Critical Trigger. We have 4 in the deck. Next, the grade 0 Burning Flail Dragon Critical Trigger. Skill, Auto as a rear guard. At the end of battle, this unit boosted. Cost, put this unit into your soul. If the cost and paid, choose one of your units, and it gets plus 2,000 power until end of turn. Okie dokie, the grade 0 Burning Flail Dragon Critical Trigger. We have 4 in the deck. Next, the grade 0 Flare Veil Dragon, Draw Trigger, Skill, Continuous as a Guardian. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, this unit gets plus 5,000 shield. Affirmative, the grade 0 Flare Veil Dragon, Draw Trigger, we have 3 in the deck. Next, the grade 0 Stealth Fiend Amavira, Heal Trigger, Skill, Auto. When this unit is placed on the Guardian Circle, if your opponent's attacking unit has attacked 2 or more times this turn, this unit gets plus 15,000 shield until end of battle. Active if this battle is set. It's its second attack this turn or more. Confirm. The Grade 0 Stealth Fiend Amavira heal trigger. We have 2 in the deck. And next, the Grade 0 Pure Flare Draco Kid heal trigger. Skill auto. When this unit is put in the Guardian Circle, if the attacking unit's critical is 2 or greater, and its critical is increased by a non-trigger effect ability, or its original critical is 2 or greater, this unit gets plus 15,000 shield until end of battle. And okay, the Grade 0 Pure Flare Draco Kid heal trigger. We have 2 in the deck. And of that, we've covered the deck's trigger lineup. And of that, the deck's been built. Cardfight explained. For the cards in this deck we are playing: 4 Grade 3 Dragonic Kaiser Vermillion, 3 Grade 3 Eternal Thunderbolt, 1 Grade 3 Gradiac Gretel, 4 Grade 2 Dragriddle Latifa, 4 Grade 2 Dragonic Death Scythe, 3 Grade 2 Thunderstorm Dragoon, 3 Grade 1 Stealth Dragon Tokachirashi, 3 Grade 1 Sparkle Rejector Dragon, 1 Grade 1 Elementara Sanitude, 4 Grade 1 Rising Phoenix, 3 Grade 1 Red River Dragoon, 1 Grade 0 Spark Kit Dragoon starting unit. And for the triggers in this deck we are playing: 1 Overtrigger Drag Beta, 8 critical triggers, 3 draw triggers, and 4 heal triggers. With that, the deck's been built, Cardfight explained. Next, let's get on to testing out the deck. And here we are, back in the main menu, heading over to Fight menu to test out a deck. Selecting CPU Fight, choosing the deck I just showcased to you, the Dragon Empire's Dragonic Kaiser Vermillion D-BT11 deck. Looking good, selecting deck, choosing my opponent to test it out on. I'm gonna test it out on... who would be a good choice? Going up against... I think I'm gonna test it out on nope. How about Toyabata, normal difficulty, and click. The battle begins. Let's get started. Here we are in the fight. Gonna decide who goes first. So rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Scissors, rock, I lose going second. Drawing our starting hands, I got myself a Tokachirashi, perfect guard. Draw, critical, and overtrigger. Obviously, hold on to the normal units. Redrawing all triggers. Redraw. Yes, Rising Phoenix and Latifa, good redraw. My opponent goes first. He rides the Great 1, Knight of Heavenly Sword, Fort. And of their turn, my turn. Stand and draw. I ride from the right deck, Red River Dragoon. For the right deck cost, obviously I'm going to discard Tokachirashi. Is a skill that lets it move into the soul after being discarded, so discarding Tokachirashi. Right, Red River Dragoon. Skill of Spark Kit Dragoon. Draw 1 card. Draw. And Tokachirashi skill. From drop zone into soul. And then next I'm going to call Rising Phoenix to the rear guard. Call. That should do it for my main phase to the battle phase. Battle phase, Vanguard to Vanguard, 8k. The attack goes through. Drive check. No trigger, Eternal Thunderbolt. 1 damage, Pierce. Check. Yes, no trigger, Persona Ride, 1 less card to worry about. Then Phoenix attacks the Vanguard, 8k. The attack goes through. Slash. Damage check. No trigger, safe. End of my turn, my opponent's turn. He rides to Grade 2, Rooks. Skill of Fort, revealing his cards. 2 Grade 3s, Fasado and Rafloop. And, yes, critical trigger. He's forced to Superior Call it. 1 trigger less to worry about. Battle phase, Vanguard to Vanguard, 14k. No guard, gonna take it. Drive check. No trigger, grade 3, safe, 1 damage. Ow! Damage check. No trigger, Thunderstorm Dragoon. And skill of his rear guard, it goes to soul, and a wasted power up. End of their turn, my turn. Stand and draw. I ride from the right deck, Thunderstorm Dragoon. Right deck cost, let's see. I'll discard Eternal Thunderbolt since it can be activated from the drop zone. There's no point holding on to it, so discard Thunderbolt and ride Thunderstorm Dragoon. Skill of Red River Dragoon. Search my deck for another copy of Eternal Thunderbolt. Add it to hand. I move Phoenix to the back row and call Dragonic Deathside. Deathside skill with no front row rear guard, it gets plus 5,000 power. That ought to do it. My Vanguard can attack, and even if my opponent gets lucky with trigger, this column can attack for 23k, so I can still make another decent attack. I'm gonna save Latifah since its first skill lets it combo with an order card like the Eternal Thunderbolt. Gonna preserve the rest of my hand for next turn, so go into battle phase. Thunderstorm Dragoon to Vanguard, 10k to 10k. The attack goes through. Drive check. No trigger, another Depth Scythe. Pierce. Damage check. Draw trigger. Ah, lucky him. He powers up and draws, but I make the right call to put this column here. Boosted by Phoenix. Depth Scythe attacks the Vanguard, 23k. He guards with a draw trigger, 25k. The attack fails. That's the end of my turn. My opponent's turn. He rides the grade 3 Apex Ruler Bastion. Skill of Rooks. He reveals 3 grade 3s, a Persona Ride, Alden, and Fasado, and draws a card. He calls Alden. Alden's skill, Superior Call at grade 3. He's going to call Fasado to the front row. Battle phase. Fasado to the Vanguard. If Fasado's attack goes through, it can counter charge and soul charge. And he's already used up 2 counter blasts for Alden, so I shouldn't let this attack go through. Guarding with a critical trigger. Guard. Burning Flail Dragon, 25k. The attack is blocked. Ka-chink. Safe. Here comes Bastion Vanguard. No guard, gonna take it. Twin Drive, first check. Front trigger. Ah, lucky him. He powers up his entire front row and second check. Ah, grade 3. He can restand. He's Fasado. Here comes 1 damage. Ow. Damage check. No trigger. Ah, not a Persona Ride. Seriously. Skill of Bastion. Restand Fasado. It gets powered up. 35k. Fasado the Vanguard. I can't let him counter charge in case he has another Alden in hand, so guarding of 2 critical triggers. 40k, just barely enough. And ka-chink, safe. Now here comes Alden, 25k. Skill of Alden. Plus 5,000 power, 30k to Vanguard. No guard, gonna take it. Ow! Damage check. Yes! Draw trigger, just what I needed. Draw card and power up. Ah, I drew a heal trigger for real. And if their turn, my turn. Stand and draw. Yes, another depth side. I ride from the right deck, Dragonic Kaiser Vermillion. Right deck cost, discarding another Eternal Thunderbolt from hand. Since a skill can be activated from drop zone, so discard and ride Vermillion. Skill of Thunderstorm Dragoon. Look at the top cards of my deck for either Eternal Thunderbolt or a Narukami unit. I'm adding Dragonic Kaiser Vermillion to my hand. Persona Ride for next turn. I activate Rising Phoenix's skill. Self-retreat, giving 5,000 power to 1 unit. I'm giving it to my Vanguard. And now I'm going to activate from my drop zone Eternal Thunderbolt. Binding and Rising Phoenix's skill. Soul Blast 1. Soul Blast. Superior Call from the drop zone. Call. Calling Latifah the rear guard. Call. Latifah's skill. Soul Blast 1. Soul Blast. Look at the top 5 cards of my deck to call a new rear guard. I Superior Call Rising Phoenix. Superior Call Rising Phoenix to rear guard. Call. And then, activating Dragonic Kaiser Vermillion skill. Wait, should I? I should conserve my Soul Blasting to activate Death Scythe skill, to use its skill to draw more cards, to survive next turn. But there's not enough power here, so... Then I think I'm not going to use the Soul Blast for Death Scythe. I'm going to prioritize making sure all my attacks can go through. Activating my Phoenix's skill. Hold on, wait. And second thought, just going to save my Soul Blast for Death Scythe to draw more cards later. So activating Vermilion skill, Counter Blast 1, Counter Blast, giving 2 Narukami's in my field plus 5,000 power, giving it to Death Scythe and the Phoenix on the left. Power up! That's it for my main phase. To the battle phase. Vermillion attacks the entire front row. 18k. The attack goes through. Twin Drive, first check. Yes, heal trigger, lucky me! I heal 1 point of damage, healing, giving power to Dragonic Death Scythe. Second check. No trigger, Latifa, 1 damage to opponent. Zap! Goodbye Fasado. Zap! So long Alden. And zap! 1 damage. Damage check. No trigger, Fasado, safe. Binding and activating my Vermillion skill. Discard a card from hand. I discard my Dragonic Death Scythe. Activating skill, deal 1 damage. Damage check. Critical trigger, lucky him. He's giving it all to his Vanguard, and let's see. My Latifa gets plus 10,000 power for her own skill. That's 25, 38. Here is 43, so boosted by Phoenix, Latifa attacks the Vanguard. Latifa skill plus 10,000 power. Powering up. Guarding with front trigger, plus 5,000 shield. And now, boosted by Rising Phoenix, Dragonic Death Scythe attacks the Vanguard, 43k. Should I activate the Soul Blast? I have no more, I only have 2, so if I use it up, I can't make use of Phoenix's skill next turn. This is a tough choice. I only have 2 damage, I have a perfect guard and some shields in hand, so I guess I can afford to hold back. I don't have to draw an extra card. I can make do of this with enough of this already. So, yep, not gonna activate the Soul Blast this time. Just going straight for attacking. He double guards. 53k, 58k. The attack fails. End of my turn. My opponent's turn. He's Persona Riding Bastion. I knew that was coming. Persona Riding, powering up, drawing, and he calls another Alden. He's not gonna use its skill. He must not have any other grade 3s. Lucky. Vanguard to Vanguard, no guard. Twin Drive, first check. No trigger. Order card, second check. No trigger, grade 3, but nothing to restand. Safe. Just 1 damage. Ow! Damage check. No trigger, Eternal Thunderbolt. Alden the Vanguard, 25k. No guard, gonna take it. Ow! Damage check. No trigger. Togachi Rashi, I could have used that card. End of their turn, my turn. Stand and draw. It's time to Persona Ride, Dragonic Kaiser Vermillion. Persona Ride! Vermillion, powering up the front row. I activate my Phoenix's skill, self-retreat. Giving power to Latifa. Phoenix's skill, giving power to Vermillion. That ought to do it. Activating the order card. Eternal Thunderbolt from the drop zone. Not activating the skill of Phoenix. Hold on. I think I am gonna activate it. Soul Blast 1. Superior Call. To the back row. Activating Phoenix's skill. Nope, not activating this time, just leaving as is. Saving up my soul. Activating the Phoenix in my rear guard. Self-retreat. 5,000 power to... Death Scythe. Alright, my plan is this. Attack with the rear guards first, then with Vanguard, bind it, and then I can use, after binding, I can pay my 2 Soul Blasts as a pure call, 2 more Rising Phoenixes, getting 2 more attacks this turn. If this combo works out well, I can attack 5 times this turn. Activating Dragonic Kaiser Vermillion skill, Counterblast 1. 5,000 power 2, itself, and Death Scythe. I think that ought to do it. Going to the battle phase. First, Death Scythe attacks the Vanguard, 30k. Not activating skill. He double guards, 43k. Latifah attacks the Vanguard, 25k. Its own skill plus 10,000 power. 35k. Overtrigger to guard. Yes, overtrigger out of the deck. Lucky. Now, Vermillion attacks all units. He perfect guards. Perfect guard cost. Discarding a grade 3 Ferrari. Twin drive, first check. No trigger. Second check. Critical trigger. What a waste. No point giving it to any of these units, just wasting it. I should have called the trigger to get the trigger's power. Well, live and learn. One bounded, and the attack fails. With a rear guard bounded by the skill, activating the effect of my Rising Phoenix in the drop zone. Soul Blast 1, Soul Blast. Superior Call from the drop zone, replacing Dragonic Death Scythe. Call. Power up. Then activating the skill of Rising Phoenix again. Soul Blast 1, Soul Blast. Superior Calling from the drop zone. Call. Replacing Latifah. 2 more attacks on the way. Phoenix, attack the Vanguard, 23k. He guards with a perfect guard. Nothing to discard, since there's no cost perfect guard. He only has 1 card left in hand, and I have a 23k Phoenix in hand. The only way to block this is with a 15,000 shield or perfect guard. 23k, going all in. E-Cat goes through. Slash. Damage check. Heal trigger, so lucky, come on. Are you for real? A 6 damage heal trigger. End of my turn, my opponent's turn. He's activating the order card, Pride to Protect, setting it to the order zone. His grade 3s can now boost, but he has no rear guards, that was pretty pointless. Vanguard to Vanguard. He has no overtriggers left, so perfect guard with Elementaris Sanctitude, discarding Cure Flare Draco Kit, discard. Blitz Order, perfect guard activated. First check. Critical trigger. Trigger wasted. And second check. Double trigger. A draw trigger too. Effects wasted, but he draws an extra card, so ka-chink. Safe. End of my opponent's turn, my turn. Stand and draw. Another Phoenix. Nothing to ride, skipping to main phase. I'm calling... Dragonic Death Scythe. And Latifah. Switching positions. And, okay. Calling Phoenix. Phoenix's skill. Self-retreat. Giving power to the Vanguard. Then I call Red River Dragoon. Call. That should be enough. To the battle phase we go. Boosted by Red River Dragoon. Vermillion attacks the Vanguard. Dragoon skill, Counter Blast 1, Counter Blast and Soul Charge 2. Soul Charge, 1, 2. He double guards, 33k, 38k, 2 to pass, first check. No trigger, another Red River. Second check. Yes, critical trigger. Giving all effects to Latifa. Critical up and power up. The attack fails, but now got 2 more attacks on the way. Boosted by Rising Phoenix. Death Scythe attacks her Vanguard, 23k. Skill Death Scythe, Soul Blast 2. Soul Blast, nothing to bind, so I can draw 1 card. Draw, another Latifa. Slash. Damage check. No trigger, 6 damage, I win. That was a pretty okay fight. Got to try out the cards in this deck pretty well. Despite some lucky triggers on my opponent's side, I got to eke out a win, so I got win, attack 40,000 more power, attack 5 more times in 1 turn, perfect guarded, opponent healed 6 damage, did a Persona Right, 8 turns passed, did a Superior Call, retired 5 opposing units, and bound 5 more cards. Got a total of 2,700 VP, total 351,475 VP, pressing A to go next, leaving the fight, returning to fight menu. Back at the fight menu, leaving fight menu, going back to main menu. Here we are on the main menu to edit deck menu. With that, the deck's been built, Cardfight explained, and I just finished testing the deck out in front of you. So first I want to say is, thank you to the viewers for watching today's video, and to please stay tuned for more videos I plan to upload in the near future. I also will show support by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to my videos and channel. And with that I say, goodbye and see you.